was born in Mecklenburg County. Not just a little distance from where this the other school would be up there. I used to go to that school. And I was born September 26, 1923. I'm 100 and a couple months old. In a couple more months, I'll be 201. Yeah. When I was going to school, I went to one teacher teaching at the school. One teacher had teaching the student, and she would stay with my grandparents, my mother's parents, during the week. All week she did in the building because she didn't have transportation to drive back and forth to home. They was my grandparents. And so she taught us while she was that's how we did. After they had to go. Yeah, so further on down the line, they come up here with the school head on there. But really and truly, I went to the little school. It was a small school. One teacher taught there. One teacher. It wasn't, but a few people went to school when I was gone.
Was that, not to interrupt you, Mama, but that was because you said a few kids went there. That because most of them had to work and work in the field, in the house, and take over family, and they wasn't out. Did all of them, and you had mentioned also that not every kid came to school every day. Is that correct?
Well, some of them didn't. Some of them done like they wanted to do, go where they wanted to go. Be out in the yard playing or going on, working on the farm or something. Back in the day, we had Bedford. You had to get out there, hoe cotton, picking cotton, do all that stuff. But you didn't have that time to get up and down the road, running, sitting in the schoolhouse all day long.
So you had to, mainly, you had to help your parents out. You had to, like, take care of the house. Because I remember, excuse me, you telling us that you had to get up in the morning, do housework before you even go to school. Then you had to walk to school, walk in the rain, in the snow, to make it to the school. Then once you get to school, then you sit there and you could be soaking wet, but you had to learn. And then you had to, y'all had only one heater to heat the whole room?
That was one room.
One room.
Didn't have no heat, no. We had to get out and cut wood and stuff, so we have heat in the building to cook on or whatever. Had to carry water. Didn't have water in no building like they have now. We had it kind of tough back in the days, so we had to do on our own.
She is a hard worker, and she worked hard on being smart and doing what she's supposed to do and going to class instead of playing, shooting marbles and stuff. She had to, and the teacher, I reckon, recognized her smartness and gave her a dress. And I think the teacher name was Rosella Alexander, something like that. Rosella Alexander. I mean, that was a great accomplishment because I don't see how they can learn all of them in different ages in one room, somebody acting up, and here you are, you got to focus on your reading, writing, and stuff. She even learned how to sign language. I don't know if she know how to do it now, but she was able to communicate with other people, you know. So she went beyond just learning schoolwork. She also went on how to help others to learn. Because like I stated, the one thing she told us, y'all gonna finish school. If you don't do nothing else, you gonna finish school. You don't have to make A's and B's, but you're gonna finish school. Just do your best. Because in those days when I was coming up, you know, we had buses and everything. They had to walk. She told me the story about, you know, they didn't have much money and stuff like that. 12 kids, 18 children and all, and sometimes they had to put cardboard in the bottom of the shoe just so the rain and stuff, because it grow holes. And I remember, because she learned how to work things out. She worked with the system. She didn't use the system, but she worked with it and she got ahead. And for that, I'm grateful, because it gave me the opportunity to learn and to achieve different things, and she worked hard. And I always heard that it takes a village to raise a family, a person. I don't think that's true. I think it takes one good person to put you in the right direction. Do you remember what you liked to study? What was your favorite subject?
All of them was my favorite because I had to get them if I wanted to make a correct. Wasn't sitting depending on somebody else getting it for you. You had to get down in them books yourself. And today they don't have pencils to write and do like they did back in the day. Now we had to write, have different words, had to give the answers to it, what it means, this and that, what the word means, no different now from what it was in the past. You had to get that work out there before you could come to class. She was strict about it. You had to have that lesson out. If there's anything you didn't understand, she gonna tell you about it. And why you didn't read different places and you'd have found it out? That's what she'd tell her. And that teacher was strict herself. She wanted you to get that lesson out when she signed it over to you. And when she asked you for it, she wanted you to have it in your mind, what it was wrote down. Had to write down what you had. You wasn't just sitting there all the time not doing nothing. Well, we wasn't no maps or nothing. We know how to take no pictures. No. You had to study when you were there. Wasn't no sitting, eating, playing all the time. You had to get in them books. And you had to pass that work in the teacher. And one teacher was teaching you, gonna check your work, see if you was right in doing it. And she'd give you a read on it. So I was blessed when I was going to Scrub Hill School. That's the name of it, was Scrub Hill School, for the built Siloam School. Siloam School, it was all mixed up with different people. Some stayed there and some didn't. Yeah, they had this type of blackboards. Now they don't have that in school now. Blackboards where you go right on it, whatever. And they don't have these hard floors and things like they used to have. You know, but that they pretty good. That's all that side there. I like that. But there's cracks in this thing. That's that old time stuff.
This building, it's a beautiful building now, you know. But if these walls could tell a story, like Martha Barringer came to class every day. Martha Barringer got straight A's. You know, the walls can speak. You know, you just gotta listen. You gotta take your mind back to the past sometime. Sometimes you have to go on that journey to the past so that you can appreciate what you got in the future. Because these kids today, they don't know anything about not being without heat, not having to go to school without lunch, even walking to school. Because these days you can walk right out your door and catch the bus and get on the bus.
Bus
And go
we
to school.
wouldn't no buses back then.
You know, your feet hurting, you tired.
But later on, it had buses to pick the children up from the school. But not in my days.
Appreciate what you have. This building.
It's a nice building.
It's a reminder. It's history. It's her past, my present, somebody else's future. She done seen a lot, been through a lot, but like I say, she's a strong woman, and I think that education coming from determination. You gotta have that determination to do something. If you don't, you're not gonna do it. You gotta wanna do it. She always wanted us to go further than she did because she had to quit going to school in the 11th grade because, like I say, her parents had deceased and she had to raise a set of twins and 2 others and, had to come back home. So she mostly gave her life so that others can have a life, It's been hard, but she did it. She did it. When she was younger, her mother took her to the hospital. I think it was rheumatic fever. She had something going on where it was life-threatening. The doctors gave her up, told her she wasn't gonna make it. She told her mama, "Take me home." Her mama took her home. The doctor, before she took her home, the doctor told her, if you take her home, she's not gonna live. She's here. Like she said, that doctor probably gone, but she's still here. See, like I say, determination, you gotta press on. Life is like a puzzle. You gotta keep going, putting pieces in that spot until you find the right spot that piece fit. Once you find that piece to fit, you add another piece on. But if you quit, the puzzle will never be finished. Everything in life is a journey. You can take it to the past, future, or present. Like this right here was in her past. But right now we sitting here, so it's the present. And for other kids to learn about it, it's gonna be the future.